Hey everybody, how's it going? Before that song totally wrecks any chance of this video coming out. Yes, we are here with the Evangelion collab. This is number 4 if you've been around for long enough to get all the previous hits of Evangelion. This is probably the most rerun collab minus Doraemon, right? So there's a lot of cool stuff coming with this, but in consequence, there's also a lot of stuff to do. So let's make sure that you are aware of what's necessary and what is here to do. As you can see on the screen, this gacha is going to be available until May 17th, 11:59 a.m. Japan time. That is about 17 days worth to play around with this collab. So hopefully you take advantage of that while you can. Let's go to the next slide and hey, how's it going? So, let's go to the gacha first, because that's probably going to be the most important thing. This is actually quite a rarity in the Monster Strike world to see 3 gachas up at the same time. That usually does not happen. So let's make sure that you don't pull on the wrong one. So there are 3 gachas here. You see the new collab, which is the 4th edition of the collab. You got the first collab featuring Rei, Shinji, and Asuka in their standard forms. And then you have the second revival collab, which has Kaoru in the Lucifer form. We've got Asuka in the Uriel form, and we've got Rei in the Amakusa form. The notable change between those is that I think their sling type was flipped, but they are also getting transcensions. If you recall, the first set of collabs are getting Transcension Kais, and of course the newest monsters, their pre and post transcended forms, as is the trend lately. Now, the important thing to note here is that all monsters are obtainable in any of these gachas. So these 9, 4, or 5, 6-star monsters are obtainable in all 3 gachas. However, the rate at which you can get them is drastically different. A monster that is in their gacha when they got introduced into the Monster Strike world has a boosted rate of 1.2% each. For example, on the second edition of the collab, you see that the Rei, Amakusa, Asuka, Uriel, and Kaoru Lucifer has that 1.2 rate, whereas Asuka, Shinji, Rei, and the new ones, Shinji and Rei, Asuka and Mari, Gendo, and Kozo are at 0.3% each. However, if you scroll up to the most recent version, you'll see that the paired ones, Shinji and Rei, Asuka and Mari, Gendo and Kozo, are at 1.2%, whereas everybody else is at the 0.3%. And of course, the 4 5-star monsters have this similar thing where their gacha is featured at 25%, the rest are at 4.35%. So if you need to finish off, for example, a monster, previously, you were that close to getting 90 luck, well, you pull on their gacha. Now, the important thing to note is that there will be no rate ups for the revival gachas. So part 1 and part 2 are always going to be even in terms of probability to get any particular one. However, the newest set featuring the pairs up here, there will be a rate up gacha coming in the next few days, and they will cycle in between those 3 and giving more percentage points to a particular monster. Now, this is probably more important than usual just because of the fact that, the pool is ever so slightly more thinned out. The fact that there's 9 collab level monsters that are up here, right? Actually, I don't know if it actually takes into account the other ones by dropping the rest, because you can see the others are at 0.019% each, but if you really do want a particular monster in the newest collab, again, only the newest collab is going to have this rate up. You may want to wait a few days for that specific rate up gacha. If you don't care, then that's fine. You don't care. That's great. Looking over my notes after watching Naoshiro's from Game With suggestions on what to do here, Shiro called out, collab number 1. Well, actually, I think I have that on the next slide. What am I talking about? So let's see. Oh, okay, yeah. Is there a need to luck 90 the 4 5-star monsters? And what they said there is probably not. Misato may have a chance in the most recent one, just because she does have some viability in idea. So if you are having trouble with idea, bringing her along may be helpful. You know, the fact that she has the right ability set and the fact that she has copy can actually come into really nice into a really nice situation. I think people need to play around more to really see if that is going to be a big impact. But as for the older ones, even with the buffs that they got, it just doesn't seem that they were buffed enough to consider them to be worthy to 90 luck. Of course you can, just for the sake of can. But there is no pressing need. For example, like Sailor Mars and Sailor Moon. Now you're probably asking, how should I prioritize these 3 gachas? Is there a particular monster that I should be looking for? Is there a particular gacha that I should be going for? And basically what Shiro said, and again I am just mirroring what they put on their video, 1, much more important than 2, slightly more important than 4. And he did stress that, you know, if you really do want a new collab monster, you should wait for their individual rate ups and pull for that. You know, specifically, you know, he was calling out Asuka as the star for the first collab gacha, Kaoru Lucy for the second collab gacha, and Rei Shinji for the newest collab gacha as probably the highest tier in each gacha, but they are pretty solid overall. So and of course, the most important thing here is the fact that the Transcension Kais for these collab monsters are actually pretty good, especially given the fact that their requirements to activate is quite lenient. So it's actually easy to make sure that you are able to unlock the full power of these Transcension Kais, which is not always the case when you have a Kai. So you know, given the fact and that they're pretty darn strong, you may want to consider going for 1, then 2, then 4, assuming you have an empty box like I do. As you can see, I did not pull at all previously in this gacha when it came out. So I have an open slate, so I have some thinking to do as to where I want to pull. Of course, you should consult your box. If you have a glaring hole somewhere, you may want to prioritize that over others. So I won't go into the details of the individual monsters. I will probably do that when I pull on my gacha. I might do it after I take this. I probably will. So let's see. You'll see it probably tomorrow. Okay, that's that. Let's go to the events. As usual, there are always some 4 or 5 star quests that are available 24/7 up for grabs. They of course only go up to 90 luck, so if you want to do them you can. It is never necessary to do them, but make sure you clear it, because once you clear these new quests you will get 5 orbs, which is very valuable for your stockpile. There is of course a 24/7 5-6 star direct drop quest. This time this is the number 4 shito, and basically this is featuring that new feature, which is a godsend for direct drop quests. There is no need for a max luck because it's direct drop, but every first clear of the day will get you 7 bonus drops on top of that. So, you know, if you're just doing this by yourself, you'll get 8 drops each day. As long as you remember to do it each day of the collab, you will max luck it with no problem. Now, of course, if you do it with co-op, you have a higher chance for 2 or more drops to happen. You know, when you clear the boss, normally you only get 1. If you co-op, there's a chance for 2 or even 3. So there's a chance for, you know, ideally 10 drops a day. You know, if you're really lucky, not bad. Alright, next we've got the scheduled quests. We've got number 8 and number 5 in blue and red respectively. These will come as per the schedule, so you got to make sure you pay attention as to when they will come by. Don't forget, if you are new to this game, these times in here on the schedule are translated to your local time zone of your device, so there's no conversion needed. You'll be able to see, right? For example, I will know that number 5 shito comes at 4 a.m. for me tonight, so if I want to stay up I could, I might, but do do remember that you do need max lux to get these to maximize your runs. Of course, you can wait until Monst Day where any monster is max luck and use that then. Number 7, or sorry, slide number 7, we've got a Chokyukyoku quest featuring Lilith. This one actually has 2 different difficulties to clear. I wonder if we can see him in the game yet. Maybe not. Oh yeah, no, that's the Kai. Okay, well, I don't know. Oh, it's probably this one. Yeah, this one's it. There you go. So as you can see, there are 2 difficulties to clear. You got the standard extreme Kyukyoku, which you can see is block and wind. And then you have the Chokyukyoku, which is insidious. You must clear the Kyukyoku level first before you can take on the Chokyukyoku. In addition, the Kyukyoku extreme difficulty will not drop anything. It is just there as a gate. Only the drops will be available through the insidious Chokyukyoku level. However, in return, that quest is guaranteed to drop Kaoru/Lilith as a reward for any of the treasure boxes you get at the end of the stage. And all monsters are always treated as max luck, so you do not need to bring a specific max luck. Just bring your OP and fire away. It's a little bit scary because we see there's only damage wall here. And there's no weak points. And I remember no weak points is kind of rough. However, let's say you speed clear everything, right? So that's 3 chests. You have a full team co-op, that's another 8, that's 11. You use the special item 13. That's 13 drops for each clear. So you only need to do this 8 times to get a max luck out of your Lilith runs. So we'll see how difficult it is. It's probably, I wouldn't say it's going to be super hard because you don't need to do it, just clear it once and you're done. You do need to do it a few times. So it's probably going to be on the hard-ish side. It won't be a cakewalk, I'm sure, but it won't be, painfully difficult. Well, we'll see. Hopefully I don't eat my words there. Of course, since this is a collab with previous events, you can go to the library to take on some of those older quests. And of course, you go to the library here. If it's locked still, you just need to increase your level so you hit a point. I think they lowered that requirement quite nicely, but you can see that it is conveniently located at the top of the screen for you. You can also see if you did this before, did the quest before, how much luck you have on them. And as you can see, I just cleared them to get the orbs. So there's not much progress there, so I'm not sure I have much incentive to do that. But again, given the advice that was given by Naoshiro in their channel, they basically said there is really no need to max luck any of these monsters. The only reason you'd really want to do them is, to increase your soul power. For example, my water soul power is pretty low, so maybe I'll take some time on Monst Day to do those water quests just for the sake of doing it. Now, they also said, if you just really wanted to do one max luck, which one should I do? They suggested the Dairokushito number 6 right here, the one that looks like a prism. This is probably the best one out of them, and that's just because the bump combo has a nice attack to it. It got buffed pretty nicely. And null magic circle is always a decent one to have, despite only having that. Again, it is still very borderline in terms of severity. If you don't want to do it, feel free to skip it. You should probably at least get one clear in the library because they will give 1 orb each on clear, and there is a limited time, so if you don't do it now, you won't get those single orbs, so you might as well do it. In addition, Misato was also a previous quest. That's not going to be in the library, but rather it is available 24/7 here. You just clear here. Don't get confused that you see it's the number 13 Shito there. Oh, sorry, number 13 Goki. So you can see it actually drops Misato there. It is again available for the duration of the collab. Again, I only have 2 drops, so apparently I didn't really do that much. But you should be able to get, I think, 2 orbs out of this. No, 1 orb, sorry. Because it is a revival quest. Alright, so that is the events on this. One thing before we go are the missions. You may have noticed on the home screen that you see some buttons there. What you want to click on is the icon there on the top left. You see that there are 2 factions you can pick. There is the Vil and the Nerva? Something like that. Basically, you have to pick a side. Right? You can take the blue, which is easier, but has lower rewards. Or go for the red, which is harder, but the rewards scale to being much more appeasing. However, this is important. You cannot change midway through. You must complete each mission one by one in order. As you can see, they are unlocked once a day, every day in the collab. And if you don't clear your previous one, you're not gonna be able to progress. So you cannot skip and you cannot jump to the other mission side. However, don't fear. Once you clear all 10 missions on your side, you can clear the other set of missions. Those should be unlocked and you can finish them naturally. Now, what are these missions? Of course, you probably can't read Japanese out there if you're watching this, or maybe you can and you just need a refresher. Here's the translations. It is already up on Monst. If you have not followed that already, you should go there right now. I'll wait a few seconds. Okay. All those translations are there, so you can find it, so you don't have to come back to this video. But as you can see, the missions on the left for Vil are much more easier. You know, clearing collab quests, do it with an S rank, do it with a collabmon. You know, take on that wood quest with only 1 fire types, but that allows you to do light or dark, which won't get any penalties, which is fine. Clearing with a speed clear with 10 plus left, using 3 collabmons, just clearing the extreme version of that insidious quest, and just clearing an impossible or colossal with at least 1 collabmon. You can see quest number 10 on the bottom is secret. Basically nobody's gonna know what that is until they complete quest number 9, so that means at the earliest we'll see it on May 10th, assuming they open it then. It could be until May 11th we find out what it is. Now on the other side on Nerve, you can see it's much more difficult. You know, you've got to clear the Insidious level quest. You've got to do that red quest with at least 3 5-star or less monsters. If they're collab monsters, you might be able to have it easy. But of course you got to do that wood quest now with 3+ water types. So, you know, it's forcing you to take a quest monster that is, you know, difficult. I mean, the quest isn't that difficult, but, you know, when you have the elemental disadvantages, you never know. But the important thing I want to point out here is number 9 on the Nerve side. It says to clear a Gozetsu with a collabmon. Now, do keep in mind that Gozetsus are strictly curated through the schedule, so there's no way to do it unless you wait, you know, at the right time to do it, and you have to have the right set of monsters to clear it, which could be difficult given which Gozetsu is out there. So you could actually get hard stopped by the schedule as a result of this, given your player skill, player box, or just timing, right? Those Gozetsus are up late at night or early in the morning, depending on how you like to stay up. That could be very difficult. So if timing and your rate of success for Gozetsus is kind of low, you may want to consider going to Vil first so that you can finish that off, and then you can just start knocking down the other Nerve missions later. On the other hand, you can also think of it this way. If you want to have the wide range of quests to play, right? You want those extra days to be able to take on that Gozetsu. You may want to do Nerve first so that you can get there, hit it, see it's like, oh, okay, I don't want to stay up late for this because I can't really do it. I'll just pass. And then maybe you'll wait a day, you'll lose a day, but running through the Vil quest is going to be much more easier than running through the Nerve quests, right? You know, if you slack on doing max lucks, you need to spend that time max lucking those other monsters, right? And so maybe you don't focus on the nerve missions later. So it's up to you which one is going to be the way to do. I feel like nerve first makes sense to me, just so you get the option when you have it, especially if, you know, an easy Gozetsu comes up on May 11th, right? You go for that right away, you're good. Otherwise, you might have to wait for a better Gozetsu, and again, you know, if you need that sleep, you're not gonna wake up just for this, I think. So do think about that a little bit. And last but not least, as you clear these missions, you'll be able to get Mari, the special version of Mari. There you go. Just for clearing each row in the mission. This is regardless of whether you take Vil or Nerve. And you can only do it once, of course. So, you know, you will be able to get, I believe, 80 out of these. The rest that you need to fill out will be obtainable through the login bonuses. Or if you're really impatient, you can just use your friend gacha. Roll for that. You'll be able to get some more Maris that way. But there is really no need to stress about it real quick, because for the duration of this collab, Mari functions as a max luck monster. So even if you are just starting out, you have one max luck monster just by logging in. Mari is max luck while you use her. Now, of course, where you can use her will be very different. Actually, I'm not sure what her stats is, but you can see real quick. But, I mean, I'm sure she must have some usages somewhere. Synchro, no wind, no damage roll, no block. Okay, that's not too bad of a set. So, I mean, certainly has some uses. Not going to be the OP monster, of course, but consider using her if you are short on max lucks. It is, again, regardless of her luck count during this collab, she will function as max luck. And that is it, my friends. Again, the collab will last until the 17th of May in Japan, 11:59 a.m. If you are interested, make sure you take advantage of the gacha. Make sure you pick correctly. And, of course, don't overstress yourself on doing everything. There are a lot of monsters that are here as a result of the collab. Do not overwhelm. I think total there are 30 monsters if you include the gacha monsters too, with the 4 5 stars, 5 6 stars, and all of the event quests. So if you're looking to gather them all, it might be a tall task. So hopefully you are aware of your limits and don't overdo it. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll do that for you, or answer them for you. Otherwise, follow Monst. You never know what news might pop up, right? The next news is actually one day later than usual. I'm not sure what causes that, especially since they're doing premiere videos, so it's not like any live obligations should have delayed that. So maybe there's something hidden there. And the other thing to worry about that Shiro also pointed out in his video is that we are entering, you know, the midway through the year. There is always a chance that a new Legends character would come out. So also think about that before going too gung-ho on these collabs. You know, especially as a free-to-play player, you probably want to keep some orbs in your back pocket. Then again, they might do another campaign like that prison event to give out some free orbs. Probably not, because that was ridiculous. But who knows? But you should never rely on that. So as a free-to-play player, you know, my advice, just keep a 50 orb pack in your reserves. Make sure you have a way to get them. You know, there is still a good amount of orbs you can get from this collab as a whole. So, you know, even if you go all out, just be safe. And if you do spend money, be careful. Again, there are 9 5 stars, 5 6 stars you can get. If you have to chase, that could get very damaging. So please, please, please play responsibly. And that's it. So thank you for watching. If you like what you see, give me a like, hit the subscribe button, and follow my ENG Monst Twitter to make sure that you get the latest for the news. Otherwise, I really do appreciate you following until the end of the video. Thank you so much, and until next time, bye bye.